Hey gang, Ron the Nut here. Today I'm going to unbox, assemble and install a Koolance CPU-370 CPU cooler, and I'll be installing it on I'll be using a 1366 mount on a Republic of Gamers Asus Rampage 3 Black Edition motherboard. So let's see what we got inside. Alright, we have instructions, one sheet, color coded, and pretty straightforward. We have here in the top a bag of hardware, some thermal compound, some posts, some thumb knobs, and springs. And we have the water block itself. That's nice and hefty. Nice water block. And then we have here the various mounts. We have this mount here serves for a number of different ones. This is for AMD, socket AM2, and AM2 Plus, and AM3. And then we have also the LG 1366 mount is on this one here. That's what I'm going to be using. This one here is for LG 56 and 55 mounts. There is a gasket to protect the underside of your motherboard when you attach this back plate. And then this one here is an AMD mount for AMD, AM2, AM plus 3, and an AM3 bracket. This is over the top. This is not the back plate. This actually is the plate that would sit on the front of the where you connect your water blocks through too. Okay. For the 1366 mount, you're going to need this plate right here. This plate has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes at each corner of the plate, and I have that out right here. You're also going to need the rubber gasket. It's going to protect the bottom side of the motherboard. Here's the head. We have some thermal paste. Koolance, I don't usually use these. I usually use Arctic Silver, and when I clean off the processor, I'll show you all that. We also have posts. There are 4 of these that'll be mounted in the bracket. And then there's some springs and thumb screws. And there are some plastic washers to protect the surface of this nice of the metal on the top of the block. Then they also give you metal tape, so if you have a thermal probe, you can cut this metal tape and tape on thermal probes to your block so that you can get a reading, temperature reading off your block. And they also provide a special tool to be able to open up and maintain and clean out your block if and when you decide to do that. So it's not needed for installation, but it's part of the kit. So for 1366, basically these outermost holes are what's going to be required for mounting the post. So we'll start by putting them in here. Now I have done these before, and sometimes you need a wrench to actually get these going. I get them started, and then I'll take a wrench to them. And let's just make sure it's not easier mounting one side than the other. I don't think it matters. Yeah, these are just they just get started. They don't screw in nice and smoothly. So some assistance is required. Now that one went in pretty much all the way by hand. This side is not cooperating. Let's see if a different post will do it. Oh, it's going to be fun. Just curious. Alright, I'm going to go this side. Even though that one went in smoothly. It does not matter which side you put it on now. For the assistance, I have a pair of needle nose pliers that I'm just going to get them down and tightened up on there. Okay, that one's on. Like once you get them going even, they will not screw in by hand. So the threads are at the top of the posts. So if your wrench slides off a little bit, it should be okay. Not going to mess up any of the threads. That one, once you got it started, there we go. Alright. Okay, we have the base bracket ready to be installed under the motherboard, and then this gasket just goes right over the top, just like that. So you have the gasket and the support bracket all ready. I'll get the motherboard in place. Next, I'm going to put the bracket underneath the motherboard. Let me zoom out for that. Okay, there's the motherboard. Zoom out even further. Okay, again, you have the insulator, the rubber insulator underneath. And we have the motherboard now here. The processor all prepped. Now we're going to install the block. You notice I did not open up the block until now. There's no need to touch it. I like to keep it nice and clean, and I try to keep my ollie fingers from the top of it. It is heavy, so be careful with it. The one thing to note is how you're going to orient this guy. I think you can put it. You can put it in any particular orientation. And my motherboard is going into a TJ11 case, which is one of those that has the vertical mount. So all of the cards will mount and go down this way. The air rises in that unit. So, and it has a window. I want to be able to see it, so I'm going to mount my CPU like this. Depending on the orientation of your case, you may want to mount it a different way. So just keep that in mind when you're putting it in there. So here I'm going to peel this off. Not touching it at all. That is the bottom of the block, nice and shiny. And I'm going to now place it on the mount. Okay. Now the the mount, and we're not connecting any tubes up yet, but the center one is your inlet, and actually the 370 actually even shows you. The one's closest to the center of your processor die is the one that you want your coolant going into, and then that's the out. Now what we're going to do is there's four plastic washers to protect the finish on the top here, so you put those down first. And then what I found the easiest thing to do here is for these thumb screws, spring mounted, I push them on here. I've seen other people put them down there and they stay on there pretty good. So I'm going to do that with each of them. There you go. And you can see they're rough when they were cut, so putting those plastic ones on. Now I put them on and get them started until the spring makes contact with the washer. Do that so I don't have any pressure yet on the processor. Okay, so now what I do is you want to tighten them up, but you want to tighten them up in a star pattern. You don't want to tighten up one side so high so it puts undue pressure on the processor. So what I'll do is probably about 10, and then I'll go across, and then a star pattern. 1, 2, 3. 7, 10, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The idea is to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I'm going to continue doing this until 7, 8, 9, 10. And you want to do it. You want to apply that same amount of pressure or turns on each one. Now you can actually see the post coming up through the top of the thumb screw, and this one is almost flush, so I turned that one a little too much, and these guys are about the same, so I'm going to adjust these down. I think that's a good gauge for how tight you want to get it. I'm not sure. I mean, it's a nice. The plate on the back is nicely spread, so I'm sure you don't want to over tighten and put undue stress on your motherboard. So I'm going to leave it at that. I have just those 4 posts just about coming through on the top of here. So that means they're in about the same place. I'm assuming about the same amount of pressure. So that's where I'm going to leave it right now. We'll see. So that's the installation of a Koolance CPU-370 on the LGA 1366 platform. Basically, it's the same for any of them. You'll just use a different plate and back plate post mounting position depending on your motherboard socket. All right, I hope that helped. If you got any questions, post them and I'll do my best to answer. Thanks.